Okay, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. My guests this morning, also friends and members of the House, journalists all. One a teacher of journalists, the other a veteran journalist, talking about Dr. Jide Johnson, Chief Lecturer, NIJ. That is the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. Thank you very much, as always, Jide, for coming on.
Uncle, you'll not be tired of us calling you Uncle. It's a good Friday,
I don't know how journalistic that is, though. Yori Folari is Yori Folari. I don't know where you people get this other one from.
We have our culture, we have our value.
It is well. And Emeka Managu, a journalist, thank you very much for coming on as well. Yesterday, we were looking at the situation in Anambra. Quite frankly, the shock that we got. No doubt it seems that even the governor, Willie Obiano, was equally as shocked. We spoke about it, and most people were saying, hang on, how did we get to this level? Even though, the context in which it was put is that nothing will be taken off the table, including the declaration of a state of emergency if necessary, which was quite worrying. Governor Willie Obiano hightailed it, and as by now, everybody knows that he's spoken with the president, and he actually said that he has reported the Attorney General to the president. And he has given his own version that the president is certainly not behind any of this. In fact, we have a package on that. Let's start out from there.
The violence in the southeast has all the nation worried, especially with the targeting and killing of prominent citizens by unknown gunmen, seemingly pushing the secessionist agitations of IPOB. The fact that it has escalated with the approach of the Anambra gubernatorial election is equally worrying, with the unknown gunmen determined that elections in any part of the southeast will not hold, with governors seemingly unable to control the situation.
To secure
President Muhammadu Buhari had warned in his Independence Day speech that his administration would continue to work on dialogue-based solutions to address legitimate grievances, but promised to take decisive action against secessionists threatening national unity. Perhaps it was in furtherance of this that the Attorney General of the Federation presented a firm position at this week's Federal Executive Council, insisting that the Anambra elections would hold, and no measure was ruled out in ensuring this, including a state of emergency.
In terms of ensuring the sanctity of our democratic order, in terms of ensuring that our elections in Anambra holds, and you cannot out all possibilities, inclusive of the possibility of declaration of state of emergency, where it is established in essence that there is failure on the part of the state government to ensure the sanctity of security of lives, properties, and democratic order.
But it has sparked an immediate response from the Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano. His visit to the president at his residence in the presidential villa on Thursday was to seek assurances on President Buhari's stand on the issue of state of emergency and seek support for the peaceful conduct of the election. And Governor Obiano is sufficiently assured and states that declaring a state of emergency is far from the president's mind.
Well, that's a very unfortunate comment by the Attorney General, Malami. Very, very unfortunate. I also reported that to the president, and this is not in the books for the president because he knows that Anambra has been the safest state in Nigeria for 7 years plus. These invaders from outside Anambra state, from the neighboring towns, we are going to deal with them. We're already working, so there's nothing, even to contemplate state of emergency, unfortunate.
Governor Obiano takes up the AGF on his statement and insists that what has happened in Anambra state is not enough for him to have made such a pronouncement.
They kill dozens every day. Because less than 15 people were killed in Anambra in 2 weeks, is that the reason for somebody to call for a state of emergency? And the president didn't suggest that. President is firm. He wants a peaceful election in Anambra state. He wants a free and fair election in Anambra state. That's the president for you. But if people in his party are going around making insinuations, using his name to do things, the president clearly told me that he does not support that. Full stop.
Governor Obiano insists that miscreants came in from outside Anambra state and he has set a bounty of 20 million naira to flush out the miscreants. Tai Amudu, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, so there you have it, and by now it's in all the news. It would look that, well, in a manner of speaking, shall we say all's well that ends well. The other corollary of this was the election, the November 6th election. It's just around the corner, and that's what really gave people a real sense of apprehension. And INEC has come in on the matter and has put out its own statement that they see nothing. You know, as you know, we've been with INEC this week as well, when we had one of the resident electoral commissioners come in, and before then we had been speaking with Festus Okoye, who, by the way, incidentally signed the statement of the release and in good deadline time of the list of candidates that will be participating in the election. In short, none of this is going to affect the conduct of the election on November 6th. Let's look at that package before we come back to studio.
As at the time the MTF FSP documents that normally precede the appropriation bill was prepared, the Petroleum Industry Act had not been signed. The Attorney General of the Federation spoke on the crisis on the Southeast and stated emphatically that the position of the federal government was that the Anambra elections would hold. He also insisted that no possibility was ruled out, including a declaration of a state of emergency, in ensuring that the elections hold.
So what I'm saying, in essence, no possibility is outruled by government in terms of ensuring the sanctity of our democratic order, in terms of ensuring that our elections in Anambra holds. And you cannot out all possibilities, inclusive of the possibility of declaration of state of emergency, where it is established, in essence, that there is failure on the part of the state government.
Arriving for an emergency meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security at the conference room of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC is worried about the deteriorating security situation in Anambra State, but says the commission will not be deterred from conducting the November 6 governorship election.
We wish to assure the people of Anambra State that the commission is determined to proceed with the election as scheduled. To underscore this determination, the commission is implementing 2 more activities on the timetable for the election in the next few days. The register of voters will be presented to political parties in Oka on Thursday, 7th October 2021. On the same day, the commission will publish the final list of candidates for the election. We are confident that at the end of this meeting, we will bring up specific measures necessary to further guarantee the safety of all persons involved in the election.
The commission suffered severe losses in the past when its facilities came under attack across the state and in the southeast region. The threat to the peaceful conduct of the election is also increasing. INEC says it is concerned about the safety of voters and election officials, especially during the deployment for the election, which will involve the movement of huge consignments of sensitive and non-sensitive materials.
We have almost fully recovered from that attack. The destroyed buildings have been either completely repaired or nearing completion, and we have fully replaced the materials destroyed. This rapid recovery has only been possible because this is a one-off season election. We have sourced some of these materials, such as the 326 electric generators and vehicles destroyed in the attack, from the neighboring states.
The Office of the National Security Advisor will now have to give a reassurance that indeed the polls will be safe, and the ongoing collaboration between security agencies and the state government will translate to the peaceful conduct of an election that is just barely 1 month away.
The Office of the National Security Advisor is working assiduously with relevant security and intelligence agencies toward arresting the foregoing ugly trend and other associated security challenges in the Southeast Zone and beyond. This determination of the presidency is already being translated into action by the recent joint military operation codenamed Golden Dawn in the southeast, as well as other security operations across the country.
36 political parties are in the contest for votes on the 6th of November in an election that will take place in a total of 21 local governments, 326 registration areas, 5,720 polling units, with more than 2.4 million registered voters. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Thanks to Femi Akonde there. So, you know, well, as I said, we started off, you know, Dr. Jide Johnson is in the house. Emeka Madnago is also in. And we also will be able to speak with Sidon Adiduba, Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment in Anambra State. In fact, Sidon, I don't know if you're there right now. And good morning. Yeah, there you go. Good morning to you, Sidon.
Hello, my dear brother and friend.
Okay, then.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So we'll come to you. Thank you for making the time for us. Let me start with you, Emeka. Everything seems to have settled down. We are back to a state of normalcy after, shall we say, the sort of quote-unquote, almost like near panic following the Attorney General. I don't know what he was rattling. But he rattled a lot of people, so much so that eminent lawyers up and down the land said they just couldn't see the justification for his statement. The president apparently has disowned any knowledge of any of that came out when the governor went to meet with the president yesterday for other things, not excluding this one. Are you satisfied that everything is back on course? 2.4 million voters, you know, all other things being equal, will come out and enjoy, exercise their civic rights?
Yeah, I think Malami overreached himself, you know, because sitting beside him was the Minister of Information, whom, you know, should have been expected, would have issued such a statement if it was discussed. Because the Federal Executive Council meeting just held that day, and then Malami came out to make that statement. So, did he say, you know, on what basis was that decision taken? Where was it taken?
Oh, well,
on what basis? Because INEC has conducted elections even in war-ravaged areas of this country, and INEC never came out to say that it could not conduct. Yes, I know INEC had in recent times said, it made a statement recently that, you know, it may reconsider holding the election. But to me, it was an unnecessary alarm. They were unnecessarily raising the alarm because the security agencies had said it clearly that they would do all they could to contain the challenges, security challenges in Anambra State. And of course, the Nigerian Army had announced that it was starting an exercise in different parts of the country. And so, definitely, you saw that, you know, the chairman of INEC came out, you know, after an interagency meeting, you know, involving different security agencies, you know, he now came out to say that they will go ahead with the election. I think Malami just tried to just grandstand. He was just grandstanding because he should have waited for that interagency meeting to end, interagency security meeting to end, before getting any briefing. But whoever he was trying to impress, he failed woefully. And I think the NBA, the LPBDC, and the body of benchers, they should sanction him. Because for a lawyer to be inviting anarchy, to be inviting the usurpation of duly elected democratic process, it is really, it's unfortunate.
How would you situate Jide in the statements of the man? You know,
it is irresponsible, it is unconstitutional, and it is not within the powers of the Attorney General as established by Section 150 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, that talks about the Attorney General being the chief law officer of the Federation and shall be a Minister of Justice. And then if you look at Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it's explicitly clear. Even the President on his own cannot unilaterally declare state of emergency. There are processes and there are procedures and there are conditions that must be met. And then we have seen, and there are things that you must do. Probably Council of State consult with leaders, elders here and there before you declare the state of emergency. So I was not moved by a statement, and that's just one statement we have seen in the public domain. What type of advice do this character give to the president.
Oh dear, if the Attorney General, not a character. Attorney General, I understand what you're saying.
And such characters, that's the person, the office, not the person. I'm talking about the office, occupier of the office. Are you getting my point? When we give roles to people in acting or in performance, you call them characters. Are you with me on Kuyori? So you can imagine what type of, this is the one that has come to the public domain. What about those that did not come to the public domain? What about those that are not? So I was not moved because, one, what do lawyers do? Their degree is called Bachelors of Laws and Letters. I have read the letters of the Constitution, so you can have Bachelors of Letters. You cannot just go to court to say, I have read the letters of the law. I understood the letters of the law, and I know quite all right that even the president cannot single-handedly, not to even talk of. And then the Minister of Justice and the Attorney is assuming the role of the National Security Advisors. The National Security Advisor should be the one that should give advice when it comes to security issues. In fact, it should be the last person that should sign off to usurpation of democratically elected government. It shouldn't be the first person that would tick the box. So let me just quickly that. So he shouldn't be so. And then he's not INEC chairman. INEC is Independent National Electoral Commission. You should have waited for INEC statement. You don't say that we cannot conduct election before coming to see what he has said. And like Emeka said, it should be sanctioned. If the United States of America will have called for his impeachment because the National Assembly can impeach the Attorney General of the Federation, it should be impeached. It should be sanctioned.
For those who are seeing the statement as unfortunate, certainly including Governor Willie Obiano, as unfortunate, they in almost in the same breath remember or recognize that he is also part of an election electioneering campaign, for his party. So that has been brought in. Now, coming over to you, Sidon, all the way in Anambra there, you put out a very strongly worded statement earlier, that is to say, I think it was on Wednesday or so. All your fears, apprehensions have now been allayed, shall we say, and we're back to normal.
Thank you very much. I've listened to the panelists. Wonderful insights, quite rewarding. A lot I've learned from the panelists out there. What is evidence from all this is that the federal government has no intention of imposing a state of emergency on the people and government of Anambra State. Only one person wants to do it, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN. There is something we seem to overlook, even though you pointed out a few seconds ago. Malami is a senior member of the Andy Oba Gubernatorial Campaign Council. That is very irregular. The office of the Attorney General is a creation of the Constitution and appropriately and explicitly named Attorney General of the Federation, not of any party, not of any campaign. This position is a sacred trust. I do not think, with all sense of responsibility, that Abubakar Malami is a fit and proper person to occupy this sacred office. He cannot be a member, in the US, everywhere the Attorney General does not dabble into partisan politics, let alone being a member of a council, not even at the federal level, but in a state. We all know very well that our APC supposed candidates, Andy Oba and Malami, are exceptionally close. Malami is simply frustrated, like many people in APC in Anambra State. They cannot even launch their flag. And here is the truth. Neither the president nor the vice president wants to associate with the candidate because of the manner he came out, the manner he emerged. There were no primaries conducted on Friday, June 16th, 2021 in Anambra State, which Andy Oba could have possibly won. Not one person voted.
Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but maybe you want to, maybe you want to sort of limit yourself to...
So the president, 3 times they postponed their flag off because the president has discovered the truth and does not want
because what you're doing, Sidon,
yes.
Some could read what you're saying as quite frankly being political, you know, and entering into the campaign mode. But we were looking at the security implication of it against the backdrop of your statement that you were seriously concerned as a spokesperson for government, given the movements of, shall we say, commissioners of police, for example, too many for it not to be suspicious. Now I'm saying that with the president's, you know, statement that he has nothing whatsoever to do with anything but fairness, justice, and equity in the place, everybody is chilling now, right? Everybody is chilling in Anambra. We can get back to business.
To a large extent, but these people have not given up. There is nothing they have not done. I'm happy with a reference to the high turnover of police commissioners. In the last 5 months, we have seen 5 commissioners of police in Anambra State, an average of 1 month, 1 police commissioner. This undermines security, and I don't think it's sheer coincidence.
Okay.
Some people are clearly responsible for this. They want to undermine the security of the state so that instead of emergency will be imposed, they will not consequently impose their stooge on us. They are not ready for an election. We are ready for an election.
Okay.
On my honor, I'm speaking to you. I'm not being partisan. Here is the truth. There is no point seeing the truth and running away from it and saying, no, you are being partisan. No. Here are the facts, and I cannot say anything at this stage of my life that I cannot support with facts and figures and with common sense and logic.
Okay. Now,
my dear brother,
I'll come back to you. Sit down. I'm going to come back to you.
But I say this, please, I have to bring your attention to what's going on.
Okay.
The man, I said, spoke out of frustration. Midnight last night was the deadline for the publication of names of candidates participating in the November City election. There is nothing they have not done to stop Soludo and Abda from participating, including going to Brini Kudu, including going, can't believe it, to a magistrate court.
Yeah, but Soludo's name is out there now. It is out there and put there by INEC. So to that extent, that part of it is well and good.
That line of action.
Okay.
We have failed to stop him using legal means, going to Brini Kudu, going to customary courts in Abuja to obtain criminal summons. I'm happy a lawyer is right there in the studio.
Okay, Sidon, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you. Sidon, excuse me, please. I'll come back to you. You'll have another opportunity. We'll take it round. You know, understandably, because he put out this very, very strongly worded statement. Now, the situation, look, even if it has been sort of mismanaged by the Attorney General weighing in, and as everybody is criticizing that he probably didn't need to have done so, there still is concern about the state of security in the East. There was a time when people used to talk about they sort of borrowed the wild West, sort of nomenclature. Now we're getting something that could be seen to be something of the wild East, and clearly there have been challenges which might have been something that might have been sought to be exploited, perhaps by that whole, event, or that is now fast becoming a non-event. Would you agree, Emeka, that there still is the issue of the leadership, the elites in the East having more to play, and a bigger part to play, a bigger role to play in being clear that, look, as a people, we stand differently, we stand apart, and we're not aligned to any non-state actors. And so, because as government is speaking, the leadership might be speaking, proscribed IPOB is also speaking.
Yeah,
and quite frankly,
IPOB has said it has nothing to do with all this violence. But you heard the Honorable Commissioner say, talk about the high turnover of police commissioners. Okay, let me tell you something, that the NSAS last year, really affected the police around Anambra. A number of police stations were burnt. And so policemen didn't have places to stay, and do their work. And a lot of them were off the streets for some months.
That's right.
But some public-spirited individuals, businessmen, put down money and started fixing the situation. The state government did something to get them back on, track. So this high turnover has affected security coordination in the state. Because, of course, before a police commissioner can settle down to understand the dynamics, the challenges in the state, you have removed him. Just look at just a few days ago, when the houses of some prominent individuals in Anambra were burnt. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Tony Olofu, visited the scenes, only for just, maybe he was even at the venue, maybe he was even at those scenes, at one of the scenes, when his removal was announced by the IG of police. Okay, now you've removed him, you've brought a new person, he's going to start all over again. And don't forget that these challenges don't wait for you to, get your act together. The challenges
and criminal elements are taking advantage.
Yeah, so the point is the elite in Anambra, of course, definitely they have continued to show that yes, we want the election to hold. We want a peaceful society, and at the same time, there are demands we have for Ndibo to be given a better treatment by a fairer treatment by this administration. But you see, we cannot do it in a state of, we cannot achieve this in a state of anarchy. You can also see the state government, sometime, some months ago, some towns like Onitsha, Nnewi, they organized vigilantes. They bought vehicles, and got vigilantes so as to assist the state government in enhancing security. These things were done by the elite. So these vigilantes didn't drop from the sky. But you see, the thing is this. Anambra State has its own security challenges. But it's not to the extent that, it has, law and order has, completely broken down and is a total state of anarchy. No.
But it is in a unique kind of a state.
No.
We'll come back and talk about that.
Like the governor said,
the
governor said that it has been the safest state for the past 7 years.
He said that.
Yes. So but you don't expect, that people want to counter that will be asleep.
Yes, but when people are ordering the flag be lowered, such a national symbol, whereupon you could just look away. It
wasn't just in Anambra State; it was in the entire southeast.
Indeed.
So, but that didn't by itself also justify the call for a state of emergency.
Okay, I got to go on a quick break now, and then when we come back, we'll include your calls. Hopefully, we can include more than we were able to yesterday, because I have the idea that there will be many more people out there that need to say something about this. Stay with us, please. Welcome back, and we're looking at the aftermath, shall we say, of the scare, which is now being resolved largely. I think that all is well in Anambra, all things considered. The situation that we are in. Put that in that particular perspective, because there's a sense in which a lot more work has to be done. We saw there in the table, in the chart that's provided, 2.4 million voters are actually registered to be able to come out and do that. Now, it remains to be seen, it's unfortunate that I have to say that, how well that offer shall actually be taken up because of these challenges and problems that I'm here. Well, do we have a caller?
Well,
okay, quickly, Mr. Yakub, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Chief Yori, and then Mr. Jide Johnson, good morning.
Dr. Jide Johnson.
Good morning, Yakub from Dokwemu.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chief Yori, you see, I would like to start using my dialect. In my dialect, there's a statement, and I know Mr. Jide Johnson knows this. If we are discussing the issue, and then you find out that somebody that you think he knows it all does not know anything, we always say, do you get it? He knows nothing, because this is an Attorney General of the Federation that knows the law, that every one of us believe that he knows the law in total. And then yesterday I was listening to Journalist Hangout when Babajide read all this clause out. I found out that what Attorney General even says, it does not even call for. There is no anywhere he needs to say so. And then, this is my own personal opinion, though.
Okay, Yakub, we've passed all of that now. I think that point, the point you are making, sir, has been effectively made. That was way out of line, I think, so yes, that has been made. But we're now looking towards the other challenges that are still there and that need to be addressed And really, we can move ahead on that, I think, with your agreement. We can move ahead. We can put all you are saying, take it for granted, put it behind us, and then get on with the business of conducting this election. I was going to ask you, Dr. Johnson.
Well, everything's about election, and you see all these actors and players, they don't care about us. All they care about is the next electoral cycle. And I tell these people, what good would this candidate do for Anambra people? Let's put it in proper perspective. The two candidates of the gladiators in this have run under the platform of PDP, Andy Uba, Soludo. Andy Uba of APC and Soludo of APGA. It's the same cycle. It's just the chameleonic nature of Nigerian politics.
Well.
And one of the things the political class do in order for them to perpetuate
but that's
themselves.
To sort of cast a sense of insincerity over the aspirations in their new houses.
To do whatever it is to reduce the voters' turnout. That's
voter suppression.
People, yes. Scare people from coming out to vote. Yeah. I tell you, an average Anambra man wants to vote. Yes. An average Anambra woman wants to vote.
Yes.
Everybody loves to cast his vote. Who are those that are causing this confusion? Is he the people on the street, or is it the political class? Who are the sponsor of these non-state actors? Who are the sponsor of these non-state actors? You know them, identify them, arrest them, and prosecute them.
Easier said than done.
No, it's not easier than said than done, because they are well-known figures.
But
for
example, if they are well-known and nothing is done.
We talk about changing of police commissioner.
Yeah.
You and I know that you don't do that. You don't do that regularly. How do you change police commissioner?
Up to five in 5 months.
How does he have hands-on knowledge, intelligence of what is going on in that particular environment? I can tell you for a fact that I know more about my area than the DP of my area, because I've lived in that community for more than 40 years. Same goes for dealing with the issue of security. Has to do with intelligence gathering. And when we keep changing the head of your security apparatus over there, what happens to the intelligence you have gathered?
Yeah, but these things you would have thought they're so, Reverend Dominic, you would have thought that these things are so, as you are saying, Jide, so well known that why do they even happen if people mean well for Anambra? Go ahead, please, Reverend Dominic.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Dr. Jide Johnson, good morning.
Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning to the other guest. I don't know his name, honestly.
Emeka Maduagu and the Commissioner for Information, Sidon Adinuba, were all together on the program.
Okay. Chief Yori, please, when you discuss this matter, I think Emeka is qualified, and I want to offer myself, now I have stopped doing this, to offer myself to give you the information of what is happening in the Southeast. Listen to me. Don't call politicians. What is happening in the Southeast is more than what is happening in Anambra State. Do you know these politicians are talking to you are paying IPOB money for security? If you want to do
okay, that's what you mean by Emeka is Jide Johnson is qualified.
Emeka is well qualified. That's what
but you are now saying that Emeka, a journalist, you're saying that he's a politician.
Yes, no, Emeka is qualified as a journalist, but don't talk to the politician.
So I should not talk to Sidon Adinuba. Okay, please carry on. Go ahead, please. It doesn't matter.
Politicians are just talking to you here that there's no problem in Southeast are paying security fee to IPOB. Now, when you pay them security fee, what do they want to use it to do? You cannot do wedding in the Southeast today. I should go on because you are talking.
Yes, go on, please. Go on. Nobody's talking. Okay, you are talking.
You can't do wedding in Southeast today. You pay IPOB for security so that your guests will be safe. So the problem that there are two governments in the Southeast, the government of IPOB and the state government. Unfortunately, Yori, IPOB government is more effective. But
IPOB is a proscribed organization. It needs to be said. Yes, IPOB is proscribed.
To be said. Yes, but they're effective. On last week Friday, October 1st, you know nobody walked out. Yori, I called you a few days ago from Calabar. I was in Calabar. I travel a lot. Can I hear you?
Yes, continue.
Okay, you know I was in Calabar the other day. Calabar is a very quiet, peaceful area, just like the politicians have destroyed the fertility of this state. They are the ones sponsoring IPOB. You know, this is where I'm coming from now. They are paying security fee. If they're going for campaign, they pay them for security fee. If they're pay them for security fee. Now, what are you encouraging? Today, if IPOB made a statement in the East, the people in the southeast will obey more than the government. Because if they obey the government and open their shops, they will come to attack them, they will kill them, they will destroy their business, and the government in power has nothing to do it. Just for the southeast, which government will you obey? Listen to me, I don't blame the federal government. I don't blame it. One day I will write an apology letter to General Obasanjo when he brought heavy power strength in the OT and OT down. We went to US, I mean, international. We petitioned him all over the world. Why? Because they keep 30 policemen. We thought Obasanjo was high-handed. But today, policemen die every day, soldiers die every day, other people die every day, and the government keep quiet. Everybody in government today is confused. And these nonsense actors are way more organized. Calling Boko Haram. The other day in United States, somebody said that Boko Haram is governing 500 communities, hosting their flags, taking dance in Nigeria.
Okay, Reverend Dominic. Quickly coming over to you, Sidon. You see how you were disqualified by Reverend Dominic there. That you see, don't call these politicians. You will never hear the truth from those people. But the point that was made, to what extent can you really say the government is in charge since the proscribed IPOB is still being not just listened to, feared? They're using the power of terror.
Well, I listened to Reverend Dominic. I'm afraid he overstated the case. What the South is talking about is not the Southeast I know. All schools, all churches, all markets, I say all, no exception, all transporters operate, all filling stations operate. Many of them, those in cities and towns, 24 hours, non-stop, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That's the truth. Once in a while, some white folks will emerge from nowhere, strike and run away. In the case of Anambra State, they will run out of Anambra State. Otherwise, things are very normal. Over 2,000-3,000 vehicles move out of Onitsha and other cities in Anambra State to all parts of Nigeria every day, up to Cameroon, up to Niger Republic, every day, morning and night. Those schools have...
Okay. I hear you, Sidon. So really, to just put a pointed question, you expect a reasonable turnout? Sidon, can you hear me? You expect a reasonable proportion of the 2.4 million registered voters to come out and, exercise their civic rights?
We are ready. As I'm talking to you, Professor Chukwuma Soludo is campaigning in 2 local government areas in Onitsha. Onitsha South and Onitsha North. And the crowds are immense.
Okay.
3 days ago, he and the governor campaigned in Anambra East local government area, Anambra West local government area, and the crowds were huge.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna take that to be an answer that yes, you've answered in the affirmative that indeed people will not be intimidated from coming out. Ada in Jos. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Yura and your guest, Ada from Jos. Anambra State, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I don't know any election that has been conducted in Anambra State that has had a seamless transfer of power. Tell me one. It has always been like that. The only difference is the level of desperation, you understand? It is because of that, that's why we have these off-season elections for them. Go back to the archives and check what I'm saying. So having said that, what I want to say here is that I'm happy any commission of information of whoever that is there on their end is assuring them that they will security-wise to now make sure there's no voter apathy. We don't want to hear any story that the governor is a chief logistics officer, that is not a chief security officer, so they should keep to their word. That's because that's my own fear about apathy. But when it comes to what Malani has said, Malani, as much as we are supplying him and all that, all I want to say here is that he did not say it for saying sake. They must have tabled it. They are just desperate about the Anambra issue. The Holy Ghost, my own Holy Ghost, that is my own Holy Ghost, my own religion, made him to say it. And he's saying it, it's an advantage to the governor. So I salute the governor for his courage. He was going to meet President Buhari. It's not the first time he has done that. So I salute his courage for throwing that line and meeting President Buhari. And actually, President Buhari, in fairness to him, We don't want that to happen. President Buhari had every opportunity to have settled the last elections in Anambra State, but he didn't. So we give credit to him where it's due. But this continuous abuse of office is corruption. We always lay emphasis on financial corruption. Malami, he has also extended his position of open grades, which caused so much problem. So this abuse should be checked. We can't continue like that.
All right.
You know, the Anambra people should conduct themselves. I don't know. I'm so tired about it. The language is even among themselves. All political assassination and all that. What is going on?
All right.
How we're going to have the presidency seated in the southeast? It's impossible if we continue.
Thank you very much for calling in, Ada. Going back to the point about, look, everything appears to be continuing at pace, proceeding at pace. 2.4 million registered voters in the place. Sidon Adinaba, the Commissioner for Information, he seems optimistic that, a sizable proportion will actually come out. How about you?
Of course, people are ready to exercise their pressure. Even as the grievances, people have grievances, misgivings with the way President Muhammadu Buhari has treated the Southeast. Notwithstanding, people still want to exercise their civic rights. But like I've said on a number of occasions,
and the point has been made that the ruling APC. It is not so, at least the governor himself, no less, has said that he's been there. President Buhari has no interest
the interesting thing, I think,
in this whole matter.
I think
because the point was made that they are trying to extend the ruling partyship to Anambra.
But I think Governor Obiano has had a very there's something interesting about how Governor Obiano reached out to President Buhari at the right time. The same thing happened when he was running for second term. Re-election. When there were these issues. There was a lot of tension. When they took away his orderly and all that, he ran to President Buhari. President Buhari said no, he had no interest. He didn't want to manipulate the election. And you see how things went. The same thing has happened now. He went at the right time. He struck the iron at the right time. I think I have to commend him for having that sense of proportion. But again, I think the security agencies should coordinate themselves. Then the federal authorities should find a way to help the police to get back on track. Get the policemen, restore confidence in the police, and then let there be coordination. Let one commissioner of police, let him stay there, and so that it doesn't look like you are training the commissioner of police because the election is coming. And the elite
themselves, of course, they have to get their act together.
No, but what about the community leaders? What about the youth? Why talk about the elite? Sometimes we think the elite are a set of people who just live in the clouds. They are also at the grassroots. The community leaders. So
let me bring in
a long time. Everybody has to join hands.
Okay, let me bring in a long-time friend of ours that traveled. Mr. Joshua Iniri-Wolede, good morning. You're back.
How are you?
You're very welcome.
Yeah, back. Thank you, sir.
Please go ahead.
And happy weekend to you and to your guests.
Indeed.
I just want to appeal to the gladiators and the players in this game as it is in Anambra. I want to tell them, Uncle Yori, if anybody is on social media, I hope what is going on social media is not what is on ground, as the spokesperson for the state has said. If what is on social media is what is on ground there, then what Malami has said is a clue, right? So I want them to take it like that.
Okay.
Social media is awash with violence that confirms what Reverend Dominic is saying, that IPOB is the official government in Anambra.
Proscribed IPOB. No, but many people will disagree with you. We're taking it as you just heard it.
You just heard it. In Anambra, Uncle Yori. There are many state actors, not in Anambra. In Nigeria, let's face reality.
Non-state actors. But in relation to proscribed,
in many states in Nigeria, even in Nigeria, there are many state actors that have allocated power to themselves. It's not peculiar to Anambra alone. It's not peculiar. It's virtually everywhere. Banditry is controlling the northwest. Boko Haram is controlling the northeast. You come down to the southwest. You come to the southwest. You have the NLTW. Those don't let us look. In Nigeria, we have a lot of non-state actors wielding powers, and when it gets out of hand, the political class will start running helter-skelter. Okay. I agree with you in totality.
Okay, let me go over to Anambra so that we can just sign off from there. Sidon, thank you very much for making time for us. We got to go now, but you know, you've heard of the committee. Would you like to add a last line, sort of?
Well, the people of Anambra State are ready for an election. We are itching for it. There are people who know they stand no chance. They can't campaign. They can't come out. All they hope is to read. We are not allowing them. Okay. Therefore, you want to impose a stooge on the people of Anambra State. Good thing that neither the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria nor the Vice President is cooperating with them. This election, we expect Soludo of Abga to win by at least.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sidon. You would have to go there. Thank you very much, Sidon Adinabua, Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment in Anambra State. This is why Reverend Dominic was saying that don't bring politicians. These people, you know, it is clear. But still, politicians even have their rights now. It is our job here to try and close mark them as much as possible and put their opinions in the context of what it is.
Let them come and pay for adverts for Soludo.
Really?
Your commercial people should go after him.
But I suppose the good thing here is that we're all smiling now. Even in the midst of difficult times, we still are smiling because a lot of
we want the best for this country.
Yes, we do.
An average person
and also what tendencies have been debunked.
An average person on the street wants the best for himself. And you know, you can only get the best when the best of the country is available. And that's why we want this country to work, because we have no other nation to go to. And that's why we are concerned, and that's why we speak the way we speak, and not that we have aversion to some characters or to some individual. But once this country can get it right, we get everything right, and Nigeria will be the best nation.
That's so beautifully put, Jide. I think.
Like I keep saying, I've said again, I'll say it again. President Buhari should find a way to engage with the Southeast beyond just tokenism. He should engage. With the Southeast so that you can really understand what the problems are, what the grievances are, and then move to address them.
That will have to do for it. Thank you very much, Emeka Madnagu, journalist. So thanks to Sidon Adinabua, who joined with us, and thank you also to the callers that called out there, and certainly not the least of our thanks to Dr. Jide Johnson and Emeka Madnagu. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So that's our program. We'll see you on Monday, God willing, with a fresh edition. Yori Folaren. Do have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.